Today we're installing our ultra premium tempered glass screen protectors for the 16-inch screen. So right now I've retrofitted the 16-inch screen to our regular Model Y long range. At the time of recording, which is mid-February, the 16-inch screen's appearing I think in all Model Ys apart from the standard edition or whatever tests are recording it today, and I assume it's going to eventually roll out to all Model 3 and Model Y. So this is the video for the 16-inch version. The installation technique is basically the same as the 15.4-inch version. So I'm going to go over the product benefits, whether you should choose clear or matte, and then we're going to roll the car outside, do the installation in sunlight. That's so much better for just getting any last dust on the screen or something like that. So always better to do the installation outside in the sunshine. Okay, with that said, clear or matte. Choose clear if you have excellent vision, like 20/20 vision. You really value clarity and glossiness on your screen. So think of maybe a MacBook screen or something like that. Once this is installed, you can't see it, it's invisible. Still gives you all the benefits of the oleophobic coating, the protection obviously, which I'll talk about in a minute, and absolute clarity on the screen. If you don't have 20/20 vision, or you really don't want to see fingerprints or reflective glare, right, or specular glare as it's called, so that kind of pin sharp glare that you get, choose the matte. The matte outsells the clear by about 60/40, so it's fairly close, but you know, this is always the clear winner in that context. I always install the matte one. I don't have 20/20 vision anymore, and it really does help just hide all of the fingerprints, far more so than the clear. Both are easy for cleanup because they both have the same oleophobic coating and so on, so it's just a personal preference. Okay, in terms of the benefits of the screen, this is going to be a bit of a sales pitch. Feel free to skip it if you want, but bear with me if you can. So I'm confident in saying these are the best screen protectors in the world for your Tesla. I've not really said that on video before. I'm kind of, you know, a little bit humble about it, but we've spent so much time. The cost it costs us to make these is more than the buy cost on Amazon for some of the other cheaper versions. So what makes it different? So for a start, it's the hardest screen protector in the world for your Tesla. No question about that. This is made from aluminosilicate glass. The material costs for that are 6 times what they are for regular soda lime glass, which is what most screen protectors are made out of. And the difference is the hardness, the scratch resistance. You know, your phone screen is made from aluminosilicate glass. There's a reason for that, right? It's you know, it needs to be hard, it needs to be able to last. And the fiction of screen protectors, if you buy a screen protector for your phone, it's nine times out of 10 it's going to be made of soda lime glass, which is just glass. And the way it's made in terms of manufacturing is it's etched down to a certain thinness, and that makes the glass very brittle. So when you drop your phone, the screen protector cracks, you think, oh great, it saved my screen. No, it didn't. Your screen protector cracked because it's brittle by design, by nature. So aluminosilicate glass is poured to a certain depth. It's not inherently weak in terms of the manufacturing, and it's just stronger overall. So if you do want sort of the ultimate protection for your screen, protect against dings from purse straps, rings, watches, whatever it is, this is absolutely the best solution for you. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is we put a silver iron coating on here. This is a permanent coating. It kills 99.9% of germs on contact. Here's the proof. I can't say 100% because nothing is ever 100% in scientific testing, but we did this as part of the whole COVID thing a few years ago, and we've kept it on there. It adds cost to manufacturing, but it just means that your screen, which is touched by grubby fingers all day long, isn't just covered in germs. So another exclusive feature. Of course, oleophobic coating to help resist fingerprints. It's not magic. It won't completely eradicate fingerprints, but it does help resist them, makes cleanup really easy. And we sell a screen protector. I should have one around. I'll show you in the car later. That's really good for a real quick cleanup at the red light as well. Last thing to mention is if it is damaged in line of duty, then we'll replace it for free, just pay for shipping. So for as long as you own the car, if you somehow break the screen protector, we'll replace it for free. Simple as that. Okay, with that said, I think we're going to go outside, get the installation done. Just in terms of prep, as I mentioned, if you can pick a sunny day to do it, perfect, really good. Wash your hands and just make sure you have 10 or 15 minutes to yourself so you're not disturbed. Once we get in the car and we start applying the screen protector, we just want to minimize, there's dust everywhere, especially in the car, so we just want to minimize air movement and so on. So we're going to be very deliberate in our steps. Okay, let's get out there. Okay, here we are in the car. We're outside, the sun is shining across the screen, so a really good way to show up any dust. I want to give you a quick side-by-side. These are just some old screen protectors. So this is the matte version. And let me just grab the clear one. Obviously this is an approximation, but I just wanted to show it on screen. So you can see hopefully there, the way the matte works, it really just kind of spreads out the glare. It's not a miracle, right? You can't prevent reflective glare, but this really spreads it out, whereas this remains kind of almost mirror-like. So this is the difference. The other thing worth mentioning is that all of our screen protectors for these screens have this black screen printed edge. That's because the factory screen has a rounded edge on it, or a bevel. So if we didn't do that, dust would eventually accumulate, especially across this top edge, and you'll be able to see it from looking at the screen protector. So again, one of the differences between a generic screen protector and something that's been designed explicitly for Tesla is it should have this black edge around it. Okay, that's what they look like side by side. So now we're going to get the installation done. Everything you need is included in the kit, other than maybe have a credit card handy in case we need it to work out any bubbles. So we're going to take that cleaning kit. We're going to get this out of here. We'll do the rear next, so we'll keep that in the box for now. So first thing we're going to do is clean the screen. I'm going to use the wet wipe first. So in the kit you get a wet wipe, a nice microfiber cloth for polishing the screen, and then some dust grabbers which we may use before or after, or never, hopefully, if we get all the dust. But first let's give this a clean. So this serves two purposes. One is obviously to help clean the screen. The second one is to remove or help reduce the static on the screen itself. The factory screen isn't made of glass, it's made of a perspex, so it does have a habit of being quite attractive to dust, so this helps. So that's looking pretty good. Then we're going to use the microfiber cloth just to polish it. So maybe you can see on my metal glasses just a little speck of dust there. That's the stuff we're looking for, and that's why we're out in sunshine. But we're just going to polish the screen, get rid of any streak marks from the alcohol wipe, and really kind of give it a real thorough eyeballing to make sure there's no dust left on the screen. That looks pretty good to me. So now we're going to move a little bit more deliberately. The AC is off in the car. We want to limit air movement as well. So I'm just going to take this out from its protective pack. So the first thing we're going to do is just make sure that the it's snapped in on these four lugs here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes it can get dislodged in transit. That's fine. We're going to move this across. And then we're going to place this on the screen. So take one more look at the screen, make sure there's no dust, and then just pop it on like this. Okay. So make sure it's positioned all the way around. Then what we're going to do is pull this. This will remove the backing sheet. There's still a protective layer on top as well, so you can see that's what this is here. So we're just going to pull this away, hold the frame in place, like so. And then just kind of swipe your finger up. Maybe you can see it spreading in the background there. Again, these are just on top, so we're going to get rid of these in a minute. But just give it a bit of a hand. I'm kind of doing this quickly and intentionally to hopefully get a bubble or two, so I can show you how to work those out. But once you've done this, what we're going to do is put our hands on this, just release it at the corners, and then pull this away, just so we can see what we're working with. So you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pretty decent bubbles. So these may just work out with the cloth. So I'm going to work on this one. So since these two are next to each other, I'm going to push this big one into the little one. That's the plan anyway. And just work it up and out. And if you're not getting good results with just using your fingers, as I am, then grab a credit card. I'm going to do that next, just to help work out these ones over here. The other thing you can do, if you find you have a particularly persistent bubble, you can just lift the screen protector just with the edge of your finger, get to the bubble, and then I'm just going to try and get that one too, and then just kind of lay the screen protector back down. Okay, I'm going to grab a credit card. Driver's license will do. Then we're just going to work these out here. Nice, and then down here as well. Get that one there. So take your time with this step. So I probably shouldn't use my driver's license because I've got to be careful not to show it on camera, I guess. So you can see, then this is a good example. There's still a couple of little bubbles kind of hanging out here. They're just not working their way out. So that's going to bother me. So I'm just going to peel this back again. Get them all. And there you go. So now they're gone completely. So that's how you work with it. You know, take your time. As I mentioned, I'm going pretty quick with this. But to get a really good, perfect result, just takes a little bit of time. But that to me looks perfect. We're going to activate the screen now. There we go. So obviously, still as responsive as always. No issues there at all. So now we're going to go and put the rear screen protector in. That's a little more straightforward. There's no frame. It just positions inside the rear screen. Okay, here we are in the rear. A bit more cozy back here. So first thing we're going to do is turn off the air in the back. We don't want that. Now I'm lucky enough to still have the factory protector on here, so I am going to remove that. But we're still going to give the screen a clean once I've done that. Let's take that off. I guess there's a screen clean mode. Yep. Okay, let's do that. So you can see instantly there's some dust on there already, so that's why we're going to go ahead and clean it anyway. In a really good position here. The sun is shining right across it. Hopefully you can see that on the cameras. This is the first Model 3 Y rear screen I've installed, I think, at least for a while. Last one I did was a Cybertruck, and that's quite a bit bigger than this. Okay, so now we'll give it a polish with the microfiber cloth. Oops. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. So I'll grab the screen protector. This is what it looks like. So we're going to remove the backing side first, which is this paper tab, and then we're going to use these little handles to position it. Okay, so I can see that there's a little bit of dust up here. What I'm going to do now is use the dust grabber. So with the dust grabber, it's important just to dab and pull away. Don't drag it, because if you drag it, the adhesive we use on these is basically the same as what you get on a post-it note. So if you drag it, then it's going to leave some residue, and we don't want that. So park that up there. Okay, I'm going to peel the back off. So those edges. Okay, one last look at the screen. Still looks clear. So grab it by the handles and then position it. Looking at all the edges. I think we are good there. Drag your finger down. Give it a second to spread. Okay, pretty good. Now I'm going to remove this top. And then really that went on perfectly, I think. There's really no bubbles that I can see. So once you're done with that, just hold to exit. And there you go. As responsive as always. So that's how you install your front and rear screen protectors in your Model Y Juniper with the 16-inch screen, but this also applies to the 15.4-inch screens as well. Thanks for watching.